IVC サミットへようこそ。今日のセッションですね、英語と日本語がメインになりますので、必要な方はこちらの、AI 同時通訳の画面を見ながら、上位していただければと思います。じゃあ、オープニングの僕の方の挨拶は、日本語でさせていただき、途中から英語に切り替えたいと思います。Next slide, please. で今回なんですけど、IVC サミット IBS の中で同時開催してるんですが、まずですね、皆さんに上の QR コードを、写真を撮っていただければと思います。ここにですね、IBS 期間中のいろんなイベントガイドが出ております。で、Next slide, please. で今回の、IBC のサミットなんですが、我々IVC というクリプトに特化した、シードファンドをやってるんですが、我々の、LP の皆さん、それからエコシステムの皆さん、そして、その日本の Web3 コミュニティの皆さんをですね、今日は、ご招待させていただきまして、IBS の中の、ミニイベントとしてこちらで今日一日お付き合いいただければと思います。で次のスライドお願いします。Next slide, please. で今回、IVC サミット、IBS の見どころなんですが、今日こちらのイベント、今から今日午後ありまして、ここに出ているような我々のパートナーの皆さん、それから日本のレギュレーターの皆さんですね、それ大企業の皆さん、こういった日本の Web3 のエコシステム、クリプトのエコシステムを実際に作られて、ビジネスを推進している皆様方と一緒にここでセッションできればと思うんですが、午後はここで、学んでいただいて、その後パーティーを用意しております。でこれが7時からのパーティーなんですけど、場所はですね、この、フナンスルリゾートという場所で、詳しくはこちらのリンクからも出ていると思うんですが、時間のある皆さんは、このセッションが終わった後、そちらのパーティーもジョインいただければと思います。でこれが左側が今日1日のプログラムです。で右側を見ていただくと、明日3日目のプログラムがあるんですが、明日はですね、メインの IBS 会場ですね、宮古メッセの方で、クリプト系のセッションがいくつか用意しています。ここにあるようなものだったりと、我々もビットコインが、ついに、10万ドル突破して、その後何が起こるのか、そういうセッション実はこの3人で明日やる予定なんですが、こういった、セッションも明日予定されてまして、さらにですね、いろんなサイドイベント、今年ですね、多分500ぐらいのサイドイベントがありまして、日本語のものもあれば、英語のものもあれば、Web3 系のもの、AI 系のもの、多岐にわたるイベント、多分日本のこういう、イベントの中で最大級と思われるですね、サイドイベントがありますので、そちらも上のガイドから自分の興味に応じて好きなものを選べるようになってますので、ぜひ、皆さんの方で活用いただければと思います。それではですね、今日のこのオープニングは、僕の挨拶に続きまして、我々のパートナーの JT とアンの方からですね、最近の業界のトレンドを含めたいくつかの、我々の IBC としての考察を皆さんとシェアできればと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。
Good afternoon to our LPs, portfolio companies, and our guests. I'm going to give a general overview of what we see happening in the Web3 ecosystem since we are investing in this industry. First, total crypto market cap has been fluctuating but has been increasing over time. Current market capitalization is about 3.3 trillion, and you can see a short history of where it's been over the last few years. I think this is something that everyone already knows. Bitcoin's over $100,000 per Bitcoin, and it's going through a very interesting path of development, especially over the last 2 years. Starting with the US SEC's approval of Bitcoin ETFs in January 2024, it's risen from a price of about $46,000 to where it is currently now. Close to about $105,000. It's fluctuating on a daily basis, so you have to look at the screens to the real-time prices. But in the last few months, some very interesting developments have happened from the United States with the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve fund, and also passage of the Genius Act just a week and a half ago. When we look at the overall Web3 environment, we look at how many addresses, meaning wallets, and how many transactions are happening in the space. If we look at this chart over the last 5 years, the good news is the number of active addresses is increasing and has increased quite a bit in the last 2 years, such that it's much higher than what it was at the previous market peak back in 2021. If we look at the number of transactions, it's also increased quite a bit to 3.7 billion transactions in the month of April, and that's increased steadily if you look year over year over the last 3 years. Transaction fees have been dropping over time, and that may be good news and that may be bad news. First, there was a point in the industry when everyone complained that there was not enough capacity and the transaction or the gas fees were too expensive. And we look at the last few years, that's dropped to something like 3 cents now, from 49 cents just 2 years ago. I'm glad we've gone past this part of the infrastructure congestion, so that right now projects and applications can build without being constrained by infrastructure or the cost of that infrastructure. In terms of the industry unique active wallets, that's changing and will continue to change as industry developments occur over time. It's very interesting to see from just the last 6 months, an industry that was very dominated by gaming and DeFi has now seen almost equal wallet share weights with AI and SocialFi catching up. We think that AI is probably going to continue, and we think that gaming, which is the industry that we invest quite a bit in, will probably continue as well. But that growth in the industry is not as exciting as something like AI, which of course everyone is very interested in. DeFi has recovered quite a bit, not to the extent of the highs in 21, but we see that it recovered from a base of about 55 billion. It was going well until the Bybit event happened. That dropped TV out in the industry, but it's since now recovered to about 112 billion. Another very interesting trend that the industry was looking forward to and has now actually truly happened is the ratio of decentralized exchange transactions to centralized exchange transactions. Before, the max it hovered around was about 10–11%, and in the last few months it's broken through to about 28%. That's pretty high, and I think one name stands out there, and that's Hyperliquid. That I'm sure people, the industry insiders have all been following pretty closely, and a lot of their rise of this decentralized exchange volume is through the dominance of the perpetual trading product, and they're about 60% of the perps market. But this market share, this trading volume of about 220 billion, is about 10% of Binance's volume. So they came out really in the last year to really dominate index trading and also surprise the market. Another interesting development that's happened in both the US and also here in Japan is the stablecoins. This trend we think is going to continue through many countries in the world. And this industry, which is about $250 billion in size, it's risen pretty steadily over time and may be the next development in terms of financial rail infrastructure. US approved the Genius Act on June 17th. Japan is doing quite a bit here with Circle entering the market, as well as our own portfolio company, JPYC. Hong Kong will launch its stablecoin regime in August, and other countries such as Korea are also considering this move. For many countries in the world that don't have a stablecoin act, they are actually actively using stablecoins such as USDC or USDT for payments and remittances extensively already. We'll cover some of that through our portfolio companies. We can only take a look at these charts, and you'll see the amount of volume, dollar amount of stable coins that are transacted every month, and we hit about 717 billion in in June. We expect this number to go a lot more, given that its status has become more legal and clear. And you see the number of transactions has also gone up dramatically to 205 million in January. So in the first half of 2025, there was about 900 million transactions, and that is well on its way to surpass the 1.25 billion transactions which happened last year. Same thing for the dollar volume transacted. I think based on current trends, I think it's going to easily double what happened last year. And being in Asia, we are the ground zero for Web3. We do have the most wallets in the industry. We're about 326 million out of the about 550 million wallets. And many countries in Asia have very favorable Web3 environments. I think number one on that list is Japan. So this is a great market in terms of regulations and openness for crypto products. But that's also followed by other countries like Thailand, Philippines, and Hong Kong. And we expect this to expand as the world becomes more open to crypto, as they see developing countries taking a lead in this space. And for this next part of the presentation, I'm going to pass it on to Anne to talk a little bit about our portfolio companies.
Thanks, JD. Hi, everyone. This is Chien from IVC. Next page, please. So probably just to go through what have we been investing in the past 4 years, especially we see a few cycles, at least since 2021 when IVC started investing. We have probably already seen 2 cycles already. But one key thing that we feel it's been very, very differently this time was the U.S. latest policy support, especially with the current administrations. It is very being supportive for at least the Bitcoin initiative and also the stablecoin bill that's just being recently passed, the Chien Act. That we feel a lot of government around the world usually just follow the U.S. Policies. So we feel there could be a revolutionary change, especially in Bitcoin seen as a long-term asset class, and also stablecoin for cross-border transaction, and a lot of PayFi. You started seeing a lot of global, especially for the e-commerce companies and also payment company started applying for the payment license, digital assets payment license, or applying for issuing its own stable coins. So we have been looking into the space quite closely lately as well. Lately, we recently made an investment into Nakamoto. Of course, it's not Satoshi Nakamoto, but it is a US listed, NASDAQ listed company that recently merged with a healthcare company called Chien, and the ticker is called NAKA, Naka. The company name will be rebranded to Nakamoto. So they will be implementing the same strategy as MetaPlanet, I think most of you are aware of, in the Japan market, and as well as the MicroStrategy. So going forward, there will be coming more and more companies turning themselves, if the existing business is not really for the long-term growth, they are likely to turn, some of them are using the strategy turning into a Bitcoin reserve company that will be reflecting in the share price. So Nakamoto, the reason that why we invested is the founder himself, David Bailey, who is also the founder of BTC Inc., which is the organization that runs the Bitcoin 2024, 2025 every year summits. And he, after Trump was appointed as president, he is now officially becoming Trump's crypto advisor. So he is the one who initiated with this Naka and also Chien merge. And this Naka will be forming also into a holding company, owning a lot of the Bitcoin treasury and also underwriting companies around the world. And MetaPlanet, it is under one of its entity, UTOX Holding. Other investment that we have made in the past, including Open Eden. It is a yield-bearing, like a stable coins product backed by the U.S. Treasuries that have been like issuing its own like stable coins that yields coming with the yield with the U.S. Treasury. So basically, you are moving the real-world assets, like moving on chain. And then one of the other like portfolio that is standing out is Bello. Bello has been realizing the real like PayFi in the digital space. They have the fiat like wallets, and they also have the digital like currency wallets. That with a current user is about like 2.5 millions, because in the Southeast Asia, Southeast Latin America, they are mainly like dominated in Brazil, and also extending to quite a few like Latino countries. That a lot of these countries, like people, they have a problem of opening bank accounts. So, and we invested at about like 15 million valuation. I think the latest round, they've been raising at about like 200 to 300 million valuations. Next slide, please. So IVC itself, like we started like with a gaming investment like backing like long ago. We still like continue to have a belief that crypto still need to see a certain kind of like adoption in the real world. So seeing like already like an existing like proven case that digital currencies or digital formations of like Indian currency has been like a proven model in the gaming industry. So we continue to dedicate an investment in the space. And why we think that like in the past it didn't really work, it's because a lot of existing like tokenomic models is based on the farming. So a lot of people who actually getting involved on the Web3 gaming's projects are the farmers instead of the real gamers. So we actually have quite a few games that is coming up that we also like brought them to Tokyo Game Show, and they are getting traction with the real gamer in the real world. So the Tara game, the game itself is called Spa Zero. I think if any of you are actually playing games, you probably know about like Genshin Impact. The Genshin, like the team itself was from one of the team, some of the team members also from the Mihayo, which is the studio that produced like Genshin Impact, and some team member also like from the Tencent studios. So China now really have like the talents on producing the ARPG games that we are really looking forward. It is in a similar quality as like Genshin Impact. In other portfolio, Orange Cat games, this is based on the IP transformation from the Pudgy Penguins. It's a real like TCG, like trading card game. So they are turning into a collectible like gameplay, and also like the real like TCG game. They've been selling over like 2 million packs like worldwide, and the founder themselves, they were the advisor to the Pudgy Penguin team on initiating its like Web3 strategy. Plus the founder themselves, before diving into Web3, they were already in the trading card business. So I think that if you're like in this market, you know how big the market could potentially be. The other one, Super Gaming, the game is called Indus. It could be the next big wave for the gaming industry, which is the game itself. It's the India version of PUBG, and also the India presidents, because like it has brought in a lot of like the India culture, as you can see the image here. The art quality, it is reflecting a lot on the India culture. So the India government has been like helping to promote the e-sport and making it as an official like partner again for launching for the India like e-sport league. Next slide, please. So we have been also looking into a lot of entertainment space, and we feel like entertainment space also it involves a lot of the cross-border like transactions, especially like K-pop is getting very popular like worldwide. So we made an investment into Titan. I think probably by end of this month, you will see the new group they are launching. It's called At Heart. The founder then himself, he was with SM Entertainment, which is the one of the largest entertainment company in Korea market that published like a Girl Generation, EXO, Super Junior to latest like S-pop, if you follow like K-pop. And so it's the management team who actually left like SM and started their own like entertainment company. Yeah, we did at the round about like 40, and they latest raised around at about like 120. The other like two companies that I wanted to mention here is the Spaceport. They are trying to monetize IP and working with quite a few like IPs, especially with like the Toho's house, and trying to move like the IP on Chien as well. And the other one is AKA Virtual. It's not just about Web3 and also YouTubing. They recently also published their own like AI LLM model called Chisa. I think it's getting quite popular in Japan, and it's one of the best LLM models for both like English and also Japanese, especially targeting for the VTubing markets that users can interact with the VTuber virtual characters in real time. So, like if you're just, a lot of people these days, I feel like they start talking to ChatGPT, but if you have an animated virtual person that you can be interacting to on the daily basis, it does like provide a more like emotional support to these days. Especially, we feel like these days there's a loneliness like economy there, that this is why a lot of entertainments that's given a lot of like emotional supports has been like thriving lately. Yeah, and some of the AI has definitely still the latest trends. Some of the AI companies like investments that we made, including like Akio, the ticker is like ETH. I think the FDV is about still like at $1.2 billion. We are the first one to roll the check into Ether about like 3 years ago, at 60 million valuations. The next one is Move AI. They are the 3D like motion capture companies, senseless like companies that also gain a lot of like tractions from like big platforms, including like Netflix, like Sega's, like EA's. Back then, like you needed all the tapping of the sensors on the body in order to get the capture, the motion capture, but it's no longer required through their SaaS-like technology. Sortium AI, like unfortunately they are not here. They have successfully like recently partnered up with Roblox. So if any of the game developer they are building on like Roblox, it will be helping them to turning automatically into like the 3D formation. And they are also in talk with like Unity to like integrate into it. Other including like Harv, Sun and SVM, they are also like both listed on several exchanges. It's a decentralized DID platform, so it goes like across different kind of like gaming for like your DID, and so your like leveling and everything will be captured by the platform. So when you play new games, sometimes it's not level, like you don't really need to be playing from the level 1. Like it could be like level 3, or you get more like assets when you play games. And Sonic SVM, it is the first Web3 project that tap into like the TikTok app, integrating with the Solana like a virtual machine on the layer 2. And currently they have about like 2 million like users worldwide. Camp Network, it is also a new layer 2 like IP platform, consumer and also IP platforms. They have already like 50 apps. We did the round at about like 40 million. They latest like announced a new rounds, mostly like raised from the US investors at 400 million valuations. Next slide, please. Yeah, I think that's pretty much like the area that we have been investing and dedicated investing lately. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Feel free to reach out to any of us. Yeah, we are happy to like talk to you guys like individually. Thank you very much for attending my IVC Summit today.